research is saying that junk food is one of the major causes of depression. So
Right.
unfortunately, our modern day children are, and of course, this is a industry problem also. There is all kinds of advertisements, and the children are also running after those junk food. So junk food, you should have nutritious food. That is one thing. Then exercise. Exercise is a must. In terms of exercise, at least you should do at least about 40 to 45 minutes of exercise, whether you go to do some light exercises, play some games, or go to gym. So exercise. And then the third one is proper rest, at least 6 to 7 hours of rest, at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep, good sleep. And then another component is, good relationship. Like,
I am Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Perfect Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story, where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and more. Today, I have with me Dr. Pradipta Kumar Das. He is superannuated from the largest national oil company in India, ONGC Limited, where he worked as a professional geoscientist for nearly 38 years. He has done BSc, then post-graduation in Exploration Geophysics from IIT Kharagpur. Then he has done MTech in Petroleum Exploration from then ISM, which is currently IIT-ISM, Dhanbad. And he has also done Ph.D. in Petroleum Geoscience from Australia, and MBA with specialization in HR management from IGNOU. He has traveled widely in India and abroad. Among his numerous achievements and awards in various competitions, the Best Technical Paper Award in 2 international geoscience conferences, one in Australia in February 21 and one in India in January 2011, are most dear to him. He also fondly remembers the first prize for his short story in Odiya language in a statewide competition conducted by YMCA when he was in junior college, and the national level champion in the corporate business strategy games with ONGC official circle as the leader of 4-member team of middle-level managers representing ONGC Kolkata. Post-superannuation, he has been engaged in various activities, popularizing science, studying and researching scientific and spiritual literature, including a deeper understanding of cosmic evolution, human evolution, and civilization growth. He is currently focused on areas like giving motivational talks and conducting online coaching to help students and working professionals manage modern day stress by empowering them with the right skill sets and right mindset. He forayed into writing and publishing self-help and personal development book on wide-ranging topics in his latest publication, How to Say Goodbye to Panic Attacks, in the second book, and his first book titled Power of the Universe Lies Within You was published in 2015. So today he will be discussing with us about his life journey. So let us hear from him. Welcome Pradipta sir, the platform is open, and now over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Singh, it has been an honor for me to be invited to your very famous show. So, yeah, I'm really honored to be with you for this session. I'm looking forward to you. Yeah, you have given a very broad introduction about me. Thanks a lot for that. So, yeah, here I am. So you can start the interview process.
Sure, sir. It will be pleasure to have you here, and you have done so many qualifications. Not only that, your experience is really vast, and you have worked in ONGC, which is one of the India's biggest company. So that's really an inspirational to me and many people. So let's start with the questions today. So first thing I'd like to know from you is how did your past life has affected the person who you actually wanted to be in your life and what you are?
Okay, Mr. Singh, look, this question is little loaded question. I mean, how was your past influenced who you are and what you wanted to be?
Right.
I think, to my mind, we human beings all are in a progressive journey of growth. Every one of us. Now, what happens is what we are today will determine what we are going to be tomorrow. And what we are today has been determined by what we were yesterday. What it mean by that is that whatever the thought processes we have, what are the actions we are taking, whatever strategy we are taking, all that kind combined will decide about what we are going to become. Now, from childhood, of course, as you said, that everyone has dreams, and so I also had my dreams, but not always that, whatever dreams you have, it will be fulfilled. But if you really pursue your dream, one day you will achieve your dream. Because I think in my life, I have observed that. And of course, if you have some dreams to, achieve, you need to do a lot of hard work. I mean, you need discipline also. Until and unless you do hard work and you have discipline, you won't be able to achieve. Now, coming to the question, I will rather give the answer in a slightly different manner. Like, for example, I'll give you some turning points in my life. So I think that will answer the question, more fittingly. First of all, I'll take you back to my matriculation. Generally in our, middle class families, after matriculation, what? Now, because studies came to me naturally, I was good in studies, in my primary school days, in, high school days. So I was good. I mean, it came natural to me. I was not a hard worker. I was not a disciplined student. No, because I just, managed to attend the school and college very regularly and be attentive in the class. But home study, no, rigorous home study, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, no, I don't think that was there. Just in the eve of exams, maybe few days, not even weeks. So I used to, work. That has been a shortcoming with me, because I used to spend more time on games, sports, like pleasure activities, which is, I feel a little bad to say, but yeah, that has been the way I have been. Studies wise, I was good. So what happened is that, after 11, naturally, those days it was 11, like 11 plus 2 plus 2. 11 you do, and then after that 2 years for intermediate, and then after that graduation for 2 years. Okay. So now it has become 10 plus 2 plus 3. So what I did after the matriculation, there was 3 streams. We all know that science, commerce, and arts. Obviously, because I was a good student, obviously science is the option. So I took science. Now in intermediate, again, my performance was okay. I mean, in the college level, it was okay. But after that, as middle class people, everyone, tries to become either an engineer or a doctor. So I was also, in the same kind of trap. Though my family pressure was not there, but I could understand that that's the kind of a dream every parents has for their children. And also the peer pressure also it will be there. But to my, what you call shortcoming, I was not a disciplined student. As I mentioned, that I was not a very disciplined student. I put in hard work for hours together. That's not in my thing. So I couldn't succeed in engineering entrance examination for it, because I had decided either I go to IIT or maybe top level regional engineering college of Odisha, or I don't go anywhere. I mean, that was my decision. So I couldn't qualify in IIT and graduate engineering entrance examination, nor in the regional engineering college entrance examination. So, and I didn't actually like to sit back trying for another 1 year. I just, the next option was to go for an honors subject. I did that with geology and physics and mathematics. And of course, I was lucky to be in the college, which is, of course, in my hometown, Keonjhar in Odisha. That was the, second best college for particularly geology honors. So I did that. After that, I got a breakthrough. Though my initial plan was to enter into IIT, I couldn't do that at the graduate engineering level. But during the postgraduate level, I appeared for the interview, which is again an all India, entrance test. But I stood fast in that. So that was pretty, fulfilling for me. And obviously, I jumped for that, in IIT Kharagpur. And my time in IIT Kharagpur was just fabulous, because all brilliant students, because those days IIT Kharagpur was the top ranking institution in the country. So yeah, I enjoyed my study there in Kharagpur IIT. And then after that, of course, just I had to appear for the test and the interview for ONGC, and I was selected. So I think it was quite a smooth journey. So these are the turning points I think I should say. And then after joining ONGC, though you can see that I spent the entire career in ONGC, but always I wanted to upgrade my skills and knowledge. So initially I was sponsored by ONGC to do that sponsored course, as you mentioned about that ISM Dhanbad. It was ISM Dhanbad those days. Now it is IIT-ISM Dhanbad.
Right.
I did for 1 year, and it was actually sponsored, means ONGC selects some few candidates and sends them for that 1 year course, Petroleum MTech in Petroleum Exploration. And then I also had a dream, as I mentioned earlier, that I had a dream to do PhD, not exactly PhD at highest, because in childhood you don't have those ideas about, idea about doing some higher studies from some good country. And so while in the service, I kept on trying, I think for about a few months or maybe 1 year. And fortunately, I got a very attractive scholarship from the government of Australia. And by that time, of course, I had already been married and had a child. So these are some turning points. And so every step, each things influences what you're going to do. Then I went for PhD, but during the PhD, you can imagine that I was ambitious. Definitely I was ambitious, though I was not hardworking, at least in terms of the studies, because studies came so natural to me. I thought it is not that important to do very disciplined studies, but to qualify in exams, you need really, particularly in all India test level exams, you need some disciplined studies. But anyway, what happened during PhD is that, I was absolutely having no idea about what stress means, because my upbringing was just fantastic. I had a very nice family upbringing. Everything was superb till that time. Even 2 years into PhD also, I didn't have any clue about what stress could be. But unconsciously, I started developing stress during my PhD study. I mean, it of course affects many people, but I never knew that it can affect me. And it so happened, due to some other problems. For example, I went to a doctor, the diagnosis is wrong, and I had some wrong medication. So I landed up in real trouble. I was hospitalized for a week. So, but that time, I started questioning some fundamental questions like who are we, where from we have come, what's the purpose of life, and all that. Because till that time I was extremely ambitious. I was driven by some kind of ego-driven approach to life, and I was achieving success also at every level. So it was going all smooth. But during that period when that crisis happened, then I think I had a complete paradigm shift in my thinking process. Instead of what I should term it as scientific materialism, I completely got converted to scientific spiritualism. Because then I thought, what appears to us from outside is nothing. That is much more beyond that. And I started developing inclination towards my spiritual pursuits. And that happened just, middle of my PhD, which is almost equivalent to my middle of my professional career also. Right. So that's how it happened. Then, of course, after completing I could complete my PhD and then came back to India, then served in different capacities all across India. So that's how I think I should answer your question. Like some of the turning points, how they have, shaped my career. Now I am superannuated from my ONGC. Now again, this superannuated life will be slightly different. Yeah. So I think I have answered your question. Yeah.
That's really wonderful, sir. And if we talk about your work and experiences, like how you started your career with ONGC, before that, if you did something, and how was your journey with ONGC and what you are doing now?
The interesting thing, I was doing MTech after appearing for the first GATE exam, first ever GATE exam. I was in that particular batch. I had qualified in GATE exam. I was doing my MTech. But interestingly, my professors there, because it was the first year, MTech through GATE, and I was one of the only 5 or 6 people there in my class. Then when this entire test and interview process of ONGC happened, it took about a few months, I think 7-8 months. So then I had already completed one semester, another just theory semester was there, and then after that the thesis part. Now I asked advice from my professors. They said, oh yeah, ONGC is a super organization, don't worry about your MTech, you just join. So that somehow motivated me to jump into ONGC. And in ONGC, obviously, it is, I think, still I will consider the best organization, though it's not just because I worked in it, but I think ONGC is a really super organization. It, evolves itself with the time, with technology, and, all kinds of parameters you can think of. ONGC is that kind of organization. So obviously, I have enjoyed my career in ONGC to the fullest. And I started my journey as an exploration geophysics person. What we are not supposed to do is that, look for hydrocarbons. Like, where is the hydrocarbons available in the deeper part of the earth in different sedimentary basins. That is our main job. So with this technical expertise which I had, my obvious responsibility is to look for hydrocarbons. Now, in case of a geophysical person, we have three branches actually. The first one is the geophysical data collection, acquisition, because you go to the field and collect data, by using different geophysical techniques, instruments, equipments, and then you collect that data. Then you process the data, because the raw data is not amenable for knowing about the interior of the earth. So you have to process that data, and of course there are different techniques and computer methods and all that kind of thing. And then after processing, you get into the analysis part, like what is there in the data, so that you can decide about where the hydrocarbon pools are there. So that's actually the overall idea about what my job should be. But generally what happens is, if you are put in acquisition wing, then you work for that. So I think I was there for 9 to 10 years initially. Then I got my break, though I didn't have an opportunity to go to the second one, the processing part. I wanted, but internal management policies never always go the way you want. So because you have to work in the corporate. So right. What happened is, I was given the job of the last part, the interpretation and analysis part of the data. So acquisition I have covered. Now in the KD Malawi Institute of Petroleum Exploration, which is in Dehradun, that is the best center. Earlier those days, it was full of stalwarts. So I got an opportunity to work in that institution for 3 years, and in 3 years, having worked with stalwarts and having really performed well, I was really good in investing my time, not as a student, but as a professional. Somehow the difference was there. I mean, I was very committed to my job, to my work, to develop my skills, to contribute 100% to my job. So that kind of thing was there. So in 3 years, the exposure which I got in KDMIP, it boosted my confidence to such a level. My childhood dream of doing some higher studies got triggered. And then I tried and I got that. So it all happened, systematically in this fashion. So after 3 years in KDMIP, we moved to Australia to do my research. And research, again, I deliberately choose some applied research, not theoretical research, because I was a petroleum science professional, petroleum geoscience professional. So I wanted to do some applied research so that I can take back my knowledge and expertise back to my organization, and I can do well in that. So that was my goal, and I did that because in one of the sedimentary basins of Australia, I tried to devote 4 years into how the basin has evolved, what are the different prospectivity of that basin, all that kind of stuff. I did my Ph.D. on that, and then came back to India and started again back in KDMIP for a few months, because I was already there in Dehradun for a long time. I was posted back in Assam. But unfortunately, what happened, even after doing my PhD and having that much of expertise, because of some internal management policies, I was not able to get that same kind of environment which was amenable to my expertise. For about 5 years, I had to struggle a little bit because I was put back into the acquisition, which, these things are, this thing happened. But I kept on struggling and, working hard, approaching some people. And then I got an opportunity back again into that highest type of work, like analysis and interpretation of your geoscientific data. And I was posted in different basins. So from that period till my end of my career, I worked as a team member in an exploration team. Then I became a project leader. Then after that, I became the head of an office of a work center. And then I was finally transferred to Delhi to work in the headquarters. And I was the director of a small US-based subsidiary of ONGC Limited for 1.5 years. After that, I superannuated. So this has been my journey. So it's I think
really
yeah,
wonderful. So long tenure, and you have done so many studies along with the work also. That was really inspirational. So if I talk about things you are passionate about in your life now after retirement, so what are the things you are passionate about, and how you spend your time?
I think what I would say here is that I don't know, from my childhood, I have been passionate about life, in all its multitude of dimensions. I was passionate about everything, life had to offer. For example, I was, fond of games. I was fond of studies. I was fond of innovation. I was fond of knowledge. I was fond of politics. I was fond of culture. I was fond of music. Everything you can pick up, I was fond of that. So I was passionate about it. And also I had a hand in everything. I was a reasonably good player in some instrumental music. I played games at least the school and college level. Cricket and badminton were my, and then, politics. I used to be very keen on what's the current affairs, what is going on in the country, what are the political structure. I mean, those things, they interest me. And I really invest time on that, learning from what's going on around me. So that's the passion. It has been there, and also at the same time about how things have evolved, how the society has evolved, how the civilization has evolved, how the universe has evolved. Those things also have a big impact on me, and I get a hold of some good books and study them. So this has been my passion. And after superannuation, I think what I'll do is that, as I mentioned about my that Ph.D. experience, I could now realize that there is much much requirement of helping people who are undergoing stress at student level and at working professional level. And in fact, even family people, there are so many issues which are bothering people, and people are really undergoing tremendous amount of stress. So with my knowledge and experience, because I have gone through that and I have overcome that, I thought this is the area where I'll give more concentration, and I'll try to reach out to people, help them. And in that journey, I have started, I think I have published already 2 books. My third one is in the pipeline. So concentrating right now on writing some books, and then also doing some social media posting, influencing people, and maybe in near future, that I will get into some online coaching and helping people. So that's my immediate goals. Yeah.
Great, sir. Great. So, if I ask about things like vision, mission, and goal in life for next 5 to 10 years, some of the things you have already highlighted. But still, if you have to mention few things for next 5 to 10 years, what you want to do. So, what are those things?
I think I should mention here one very interesting quotation I heard from one of the tall spiritual leaders. You try to invest your time on thinking about big things, and this resonated with me because from childhood I was interested in these kind of big things. So now, after superannuation, how best I can contribute to society is, as I mentioned, that I can definitely extend a helping hand to people who are being affected in stress. So I'll try my best to indulge myself in these activities. And secondly, of course, that has been a dream. I have a dream to really be actively involved in education sector, because I know where our educational sector is having the lacuna, because the way I landed up in trouble though I was pretty successful in my life throughout, but I landed in trouble. So I want that the education system has to have some inbuilt mechanism that it can help people to grow to their full potential without facing these kind of unforeseen challenge, because they will take away maybe a couple of years from your productive life, maybe 1 year from your productive life. So that becomes a waste. So this is where I want to devote. I have plans, though I don't want to discuss those plans at this moment until unless I really achieve those goals. I think it is futile to think about it. But yes, I must mention that I am targeting the education sector also. So
Right.
how best I can do, let me see, because I have already contacted few universities where I want to interact with students. So let me see how I
Really
go about it.
wonderful, because you have so many years of experience, expertise, knowledge, and also you have written books on real life examples of the struggle you faced in your life. So that could be really helpful to many people, many students, so that they can understand things in a better way and take life much more better, not becoming too serious about it, like work and experiences things around, and also taking care of their health too. So that would be really wonderful thing. So, sir, if I ask about the most important life lessons you have learned from your personal or professional journey so far, so what are those 2, 3 things you would like to share with all of us today?
Okay. I think the most important life lesson which I have learned is, have belief in yourself, belief and faith on yourself. And you may not agree or you may not accept it. This belief in yourself is actually linked to belief in God. And many people don't really know and understand what actually it means by God. Just to simplify that, I think because they really define God in a very distorted manner. So what I would do is I will try to simplify that. It is better to define God in spirituality, as I mentioned earlier, that in the spirituality. So have faith in yourself, which means it's faith in God, which is again just faith in spirituality, because we all are products of spirit. And of course I'll not go into the details of so this belief in yourself is the biggest thing, because if you have belief in yourself and belief in God, of course, then you can achieve anything. You can achieve in life anything. So this is the single most important, because I have observed that, because when I landed in a hospital in Australia, that belief was there that I can't be beaten down, I can't be defeated in this type of critical situation, because my belief in God was extremely strong. It didn't wane at all. So that actually carried through. And of course I started developing more into that. So this is the biggest lesson. And never say die approach. I mean, never say die approach means never quit. If you have started something, obviously there is some desire to do that. So if you have that desire, and as Patanjali said, if you have a very clean desire, if you have a very healthy desire which has taken root in you, then the universe will conspire to help you to achieve that successfully, that desire. So never quit, never lose hope. So that's I think the second lesson that I should mention, because that is how I have also achieved all my little successes. And the third thing is that I think I should say that it's the abundance mindset which is important. I mean, you cannot think that you can win just by making others lose. So it is kind of intentions which are very important than the desires. The intentions are important, because if you have an abundance mindset, what will happen is that you will not be making somebody down. You will only concentrate on your own growth, and you will definitely improve. And of course, you will get different kinds of support from different quarters, and you will definitely grow. So that is another lesson. And I think the last one is that a sense of gratitude, because unless you are grateful to what you have got, then that discontented attitude will, creep in. So be grateful always to whatever, even being born as a human being is itself a big blessing. I mean, we forget that. So I am talking some philosophical ideas because I have gone through all that. So once you recycle your thoughts, you will really learn that these are very important. So
yes, indeed, and these are really important, and everybody should follow these practices, because not only this gives you inside strength, but also the things outside fall into place on right way. So that's really a wonderful thing. If we follow all these practices, that will help. So, sir, if I talk about your books, you have written 2 books highlighting stress and panic attacks. And these days we see people in corporate are suffering from stress, and panic attacks are common. So what are the most common reason for these type of issues or problems we face?
I think before I answer the question in details, I'll give you a little bit of a background of the book, the first book, The Power of the Universe Lies Within, the first book. Now, when I had this crisis in Australia, I thought of, quitting my PhD and, concentrating on writing about this story. But the doctor whom I was consulting said, don't do that, because you just write down the points. Later on, you will expand on that and you write the book. But now you concentrate on PhD. So in terms of priority, we must know what our priorities are. So that's what I learned from that. And then, of course, I concentrated on my PhD. I successfully did that PhD. And then later on in 2015, I had the problem in 2000. So 15 years I spent, because I was busy in professional work and family and all that. So, but in the back of my mind, I had this book to write. What I did, because I consulted one of our Indian person in Australia, where I was living in the city of Adelaide. I discussed with him. I want to write a book. Then he was a I think professor of psychiatry in some medical college, something like that. Then he mentioned that of course he is having a lot of experience, so his words were prophetic for me. He said, write, but try to write a kind of a autobiographical book. I don't know why he mentioned that, but it got me. So what I did, I wrote not exactly an autobiography, because I'm not a big man that people will read my book. I wrote a semi-autobiographical book, That Power of the Universe Lies Within, which of course had contents from my life journey, as well as the detailed discussion about what causes stress, why it happens, and how to overcome that stress. So those things I have mentioned. Now, coming back to your question, like what are the causes? I will encourage people to read my books because all the details are in that 2 books. Of course, my 3rd book is also again more or less related to stress only. So that will come in maybe 2-3 months time. So I will encourage people to read those books. But to briefly, what happens is, if we don't take care of our own emotional balance, if you don't take care of that, what happens is that unconsciously we may be inviting stress, which we may not know inside, because I didn't have any outward physical symptoms of stress. No, absolutely not. But inside, I was not getting the drive, not getting the energy to work. So what was happening outside, nobody would know. But inside, I was not getting that. So obviously, there was something going seriously wrong. Why it happened? Because the emotional part, I was not aware, because continuous anxiety, whether my PhD will be over on time, because there is a time limit, maximum 4 years. And if I go back to India without completing a PhD, I'd face. So that societal pressure, that society pressure, we have built the society. There has some plus and minus about the way society has been built. Unfortunately, one needs really deeper study about what are the ills of a civilized society. There are real ills. Unless otherwise the parents are educated to bring up the children with ideas, there is every chance that the upsprings, when they grow and start, going for higher studies, or even in school, colleges nowadays, things are happening very badly. And, in corporate world, so much of politics is there and all that. So it will be very, difficult for them to sustain the stress. So about the causes of stress, there are many causes of stress. I think the most important one is that, you should have a balanced life. You should not be, after some goals which are not achievable. You should know about the mechanics, how it your brain works, what are the different brain neurochemicals which are at play. So if you have a balanced approach to life, then there is absolutely no way that you will fall into this kind of a problem. Now, as I said, up to the age of 38, I didn't have any problem. So, and this is one critical thing. And if you are, suppose, venturing into something new, then you also should be, equipped with the right skill set and right mindset. If you are not having that right skill set and right mindset, then there is a chance that you will fall into problems. So there are many causes. Of course, I'll not go into the further detail. It will take a lot of time. But my books are there, so I think they will speak about them. Yeah.
Right. Basically, the main cause is the more you get into your work and you get things on your head, and you don't take proper rest or give time to your other things. That is the main cause, actually.
Okay, I think what I'll do is, there are, few components, like, you should have good food. Nutritious food, not junk food, because junk food is now, research is saying that junk food is one of the major causes of depression. So
Right.
unfortunately, our modern day children are, and of course, there's a industry problem also. There is all kinds of advertisements, and the children are also running after those junk foods. So junk food, you should have nutritious food. That is one thing. Then exercise. Exercise is a must. For example, in my case, though I was a player during those days, in the early days of my life, but in terms of exercise, at least you should do at least about 40 to 45 minutes of exercise, whether you go to do some light exercises, play some games, or go to gym. So exercise. And then the third one is proper rest, at least 6 to 7 hours of rest, at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep, good sleep. And then another component is, good relationship. Like, you should have some friends, families, and, an extended relationship. That is a moral booster, and it works like a tonic. And of course, different books, different literature, so that you are updated with what are the different ways that can, our mental health can be affected. So if you are really equipped of those knowledge, then obviously, yeah.
So if we are lacking with any of these activities, so
Yes.
like lacking on having nutritious food, exercise, or relationships are bad, and we are indulging in or being part of office politics, or maybe struggling due to that, or any stress due to office thing. So that can lead to panic attack or stress, anxiety, tension with us. So these things can happen. But if somebody is having these things, and if we are getting out of these things, so what after that? How we can be stress free, anxiety free, tension free, panic attacks free, and lead a healthy life after getting into all these things?
Yeah. So
ways, in a nutshell, what are the ways how to come out and lead a happy life?
yes, I think this is a very good question, particularly because we should know that there is always hope. That's for sure. Even if you land up in trouble, and you have to, because suppose your case is very serious, you may have to consult some physician. That's fine, but you don't have to be dependent on drugs for life. That's absolutely not required, because I am a living testimony to that. I just had some medication for about 1.5 years, but after that I was determined not to go for dependence on drugs. So that's possible. Now, how to get out of that problem is to have a complete changeover in your thought processes. And that because what happens is that, if you have wrong thought processes about life in general and about some issues in particular, that one which we discussed, politics kya hota hai, why this fellow is behaving that way, why this fellow is hurting me. These kind of questions will always happen. Now, you have to be a little careful in shielding those negative influences, affecting you at a deeper level. They will give you some, signals that you should avoid those kind of, people who are affecting your health, mental health. Then you will be definitely safe. But if you invite into some, dogfight with these kind of people, then your problems will get aggravated. Now, then the second one, everywhere you will find some people who will be not as for what you dream them to be your role models or colleagues or
Right.
Bosses. There will be always problems. Now, what is that? You shouldn't take that to your heart. It is easier said than done, but you should not take that to your heart. And if you do that consciously, then you are given a job. You should do the best you can and then leave, as people say, do your best, leave the rest on God, like that. So you do your best. Even our Bhagavad Gita teaches us, you don't expect about the fruits of your action. Just concentrate on action. The fruits is in my hand. In my hand means God's hand. So if you really can stick to these principles, there is no way that you will be in trouble. So that is one way you can come out of this problem. Of course, as I said, you have to redesign your life, that you should only concentrate on positive aspects like good food, good rest, good relationship, leisure time, do things with family, with friends. So and relax your mind as much as you give, because stress is some kind of a thing which is unrealistic expectation from life. The moment you have unrealistic expectation, there is every chance that you will invite stress. Now, suppose if if I'm ambitious to get this big post in, let's say, corporate ladder, and there are some competitors and some mischievous people who adopt some bad means and reach that spot, and you are left out. So what? Because that you have stuck to your principles, you have stuck to your value, and you have maintained that honesty and integrity, and you're giving your best to the organization, and that's it. You don't need anything else than that. And if you don't reach that highest level, that's also okay. That's the kind of spirit I think you need to have. Yeah.
Correct. The most important thing is your mindset. If your mindset is correct, positive, rest of the things you can manage well. Then you can start working on yourself in a positive way, and things would automatically to fall in place. That's really wonderful thing. So sir, if I talk about you again now, are you an introvert or an extrovert kind of a person when you meet people, and what do you think plus or minus of the same is?
This is an interesting question, actually. If you don't mind, I will take you back to certain fundamental things about this introvert and extrovert thing. When we are born, till a period of about, few years, maybe 5 years or maybe 7 years or maybe 3 years, we are so fragile that we are dependent for our survival on everything, on others. So that time, the vulnerability causes us to, restrict ourselves to ourselves. We become introvert. So that attitude is there in everyone. Now, when we grow up and become the adults, some people become outgoing. Some people maintain that introvert attitude. Now, what happens is that if you are really trying to achieve big things in life, then the introvert attitude will be an obstacle for you. Because in leadership positions, you should have the skills of, expressing yourself, and also have the skills of learning or understanding others when they express themselves. So if you do that, then you will succeed. Otherwise, your growth will be limited. So that is what I think is introvert attitude and extrovert attitude. And as far as I am concerned, I was a very shy boy. I'm an absolutely shy person. But in my school days, I was observing myself. I had that innate ability to observe myself from a distance. I was observing that, when I am in front of, elders or teachers or big mass gathering, if you ask me to go and, give a talk, or speech in during my school days or college days, perhaps I will tremble, I'll shiver. But when you throw me to a playground and play with friends, then I have full of energy. So this is a kind of a dichotomy. I mean, you can't be introvert at one place and extrovert at another place. No, I think there lies the it's not a black and white the thing. It's like you have those qualities, introvert qualities and extrovert qualities, and to some extent every one of us has that. But insofar as your growth is concerned, I think it is better that you develop those qualities so that you can express yourself better. So that is and as I said, I was very shy those days, but over a period of time I consciously participate in competition, debate competition. I have won many debate competitions, many those competitions. I consciously developed those habits so that I face the people, and then you ask me now, I think I shouldn't have any problem. So you can call me now an extrovert. Great. And as you mentioned, what are the plus and minus? I think I have already touched upon that.
Yes.
Introvert, what is the plus of introvert? I think if you are very, something is very dear to you, very, very dear to you, then I think you should keep it to yourself, because that is very sanctified and sacred to you. So I think it is. So I don't think that is kind of introvert attitude, but it is something because you derive some strength, inner strength and inner happiness from that. And for the other thing, like, you should be little outgoing.
Right. Yes. That's really wonderful thing. Like you need to have some situations where you can be introvert, and there are situations where you have to have the attitude of an extrovert. So that's really wonderful thing. Sir, if I talk about the kind of support you got in your journey, who were the people supported you the most?
I have been really blessed because I have been lucky, because from my childhood, I think I can't say that I didn't get support. All across, from my family support, my friends' support, my teachers, from primary level to tertiary level, everywhere I have got support. But, you need to be little careful. Suppose if you are having some problems, you should be knowing where to really seek support. So if you know that, then obviously support will come to you. So for me, I don't think I should single out anybody. I have been really fortunate to get support from most of the, but I must also say here that not always you will get, very open-hearted support from everyone. There will be people who will be, playing politics and playing, hide and seek with you. So you can avoid those people. But you should find out some alternative resources or alternative sources where you can get support quickly. So that way, I think I shouldn't be able to, point out exactly, but I think from my childhood till today, I have got support from my in corporate, also from my senior colleagues, my junior colleagues, from supporting staff. I have got support, and it's like you should be also ready to help others, so that if you help others, automatically help will come to you. So that's what I think the main.
Right, sir. So if I talk about the motivation and inspiration, how you get that in your life?
I think so far as inspiration is concerned, I would put my parents at the top of the order, because I don't think that I would have achieved whatever little I have achieved in life had it not been what my parents taught me, the value system they taught me, the kind of family atmosphere they created for me. So I think that is where I must give the entire credit to my parents. And to tell you the truth, my achievements, whatever I have done till today, is even less than 5% of what my father could achieve. So that is the summary of. So I still aspire to achieve much more and to at least reach a little more than less than 5%, because my father was a towering figure. So that's the inspiration. But other than that, I deliberately take inspiration from each and every person. Suppose there is somebody who is giving us some kind of a good advice, whether he is a junior to me or whether he is a nobody to me, I accept that if it resonates with me. And so that and then I also read books and stories of people who are really successful. So that also I get inspiration and motivation from their life stories. And I think to top that, Mahatma Gandhi would be my single most important inspiration. Nelson Mandela, obviously. And then in technology field, we have Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Nowadays, of course, Tesla. They're really doing some innovative stuff, and they are doing things which is taking the humanity to much greater heights. So I think that they are my role model. Though I can't expect to do that kind of contribution, but I get inspiration from what they have achieved. Now, similarly in sports field, like let's say I am fond of cricket. Now I know how our good cricketers like Sachin Tendulkar, Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and they performed not only in the ground, but also they conduct themselves in society in such a beautiful manner that there is a much to learn from them. And similarly, I'll just give some more examples like tennis, which is of course one of my favorite because my father used to play tennis. I used to play tennis, but of course not in a very high level. So worldwide, you see there was a generation of Jon Borg, Stefan Edberg, even little. Then came the time when Pete Sampras, and then now the Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic. So those people, they are so good in their sport, as well as they are so humble, and they really lead so beautiful lives. I think there is much to learn from them. So this is how I get myself motivation, read some good books. Yeah.
Great, sir. That's really wonderful. So if I talk about your take on success, what do you feel about it?
Success, I have done a lot of research on that. Success is obviously something which is interesting, and success has a lot of dimensions. But the only one sentence which appealed to me is success is it's actually attributed to Earl Nightingale. It's success is progressive realization often over the ideal or over the goal. So that's actually success means. Obviously, you need to have an ideal or ideal goal to work for, and it's the progressive realization means it's a systematic processes which you go through to achieve that goal is actually so success is not an event, or success is not a kind of a final thing. You achieve some goal today, and obviously tomorrow there will be a new goal. So all those goals have to, in my case, all my short-term and long-term goals are tied to a larger purpose of life. So that's how I do. I mean, larger purpose of life that, I should be of help to the society. Whatever I learn, I should use that, and also I should share that. I mean, so learning and sharing is one of the epitome of my journey. So yeah, so this is what I think to me success is all about. Yeah.
That's really great, sir. Wonderful thing. And we are moving on to the last one. Any message, advice you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, I think I have covered most of the things in my journey. So already, if you have watched this, most of the things I have covered. If you want to, pinpoint, I mean, what are the, key advice? I think as I said, never say die approach. I mean, never quit, never lose hope. That is one thing which I would always, recommend, because even if you are in the lowest of your lows, there will be hope. There will be chances of turnaround. I mean, there is no reason why you should completely lose hope. And just if you manage to pull on a little bit, there will be support and help coming. So never lose hope. That's the first message I want to give. Second message is, as I said earlier, that have a positive mindset. Have a positive mindset, and have the sense of gratitude. Try to help people. So in their need, and try to extend a helping hand to somebody who is below your level, to at least come back to come up to your level. Now that's how we must help each other. So I think this and third is that hard work always pays. I mean, I have 100% faith on that, now your hard work will never go waste. Now, what happens is that what we normally fail to understand that suppose if I put in hard work and I don't get a result commensurate with my hard work immediately, kind of immediate gratification, then we get disappointed. I think that's a wrong approach. If you have done some hard work in a particular field, you will see that one day that will come to your rescue and in a different way. So hard work always pays. So I
Definitely.
think
That's really wonderful one. So that was really a wonderful session I had with you today. And I must say it was amazing insights you have shared about your journey, your life, and also the writings you have done in 2 books that also you have shared was really wonderful. And that was really inspirational and motivational to hear and to adapt in life so that people can understand it better. So that was really amazing to have you here, sir. Thank you so very much for your time. I really enjoyed the conversation and looking forward to hear more from you again soon.
I thank you so much because I got this opportunity to talk to you and share my experience. So now it's my time, post superannuation. Obviously, I'll try to, share my knowledge and experience, whatever little I have gathered over the period. I'm ready to share and help people. So, and this is a platform which I hope will help people to go into these kind of ideas which I shared. And thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. I really feel grateful and obliged to you. So yeah, I wish you all the very best because I saw your work and I can see that what you have started will really grow to dizzy heights in near future, and a lot of people will be benefited that. So thank you, and my best wishes and greetings to you.
Thank you, sir, once again. And I will also share your social media link with the video, with the interview, so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance wherever they feel like. So, guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye-bye. Thank you, sir.